Let's take a look now at some of the headlines coming out from the energy sector as speculation of higher demand out of China and elsewhere are now being tempered by rising U.S. crude inventories. Joining us now, Yahoo Finance's Ines, who's been looking at these energy headlines. So where should we start?
Yeah, let's start with gasoline demand because that has been on a trend downward. And I spoke to one oil analyst saying that this is significant and that he could see a permanent shift when it comes to gasoline demand in the U.S. So basically, Andy Lippo from Lippo Oil Associates was saying that between 2017 and 2019 is when we saw the peak of gasoline demand in the U.S. And in 2020 and 2021, of course, you saw demand going lower, but that's because of course, the pandemic. In 2022, gasoline demand was down 0.5% compared to the previous year. A lot of this had to do with the higher oil prices. But what is behind all of this? Well, I was speaking to Ed Morse of Citi, and he was saying, look, you've got early retirements, so less people in the workforce. You have the hybrid work schedule, so people are maybe going to work a couple of times a week into the office. The rest of the time they are at home. And then you have this greener shift towards greener cars. And of course, you have the gas prices that last year were up and people are spending more money on food. They're spending money on energy and they're trying to cut back in certain ways. So perhaps they're cutting back on their trips that they're going to the store. Look, as far as oil forecasts are concerned, we have seen a little bit of a pullback on some of the oil forecasts on the street, but you still have some bullish forecasts out there. A lot of this, of course, has to do with China and the recovery in China. You've got Goldman's Jeff Curry saying that in the fourth quarter, oil could go past $100 a barrel. Also keeping in mind, look, the commodity cycle is not just up an upward line, straight upward line. There are peaks to it. And then you also have, though, on the more bearish side, the conservative side, you've got Citi's Ed Morse that says that Brent crude could be at $76 a barrel by the end of the year, WTI at $71 a barrel. Certainly, China reopening is bullish for oil, but keep in mind, just the way we also have trends here after the U.S. reopening and people going to the office less, et cetera, perhaps in China, that will also happen in certain circumstances where people, not necessarily the people that have to go into the factories, but people can work from home as well.
Interesting. And as we also know that you're tracking the Biden administration's attempt to shift gasoline policy to favor ethanol. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the Biden administration, according to Reuters, is expected to approve this week the use of 15% ethanol in gasoline, and that would take effect in the summer of 2024 in certain Midwest states. That's at the request of the governors there. So Iowa, Nebraska, and Illinois would be asking the EPA to lift the summer ban on the E15, what's called the E15. So right now, you've got ethanol that's about 10% in gasoline. So they want it to be at 15%. This would be a big win for the corn industry because ethanol comes from corn. So a big win for the ethanol industry and not so much of a win for the oil refining industry because they have balked at this idea of increasing ethanol.
Well, it's not easy to do, is my understanding.
Exactly. It's tough
to mix it together.
It is tough to mix together. It is costly.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what ends up happening. Thanks, Ines. Appreciate it.